talk about the quarterback on the other side of the field tonight in Monday Night Football's matchup. Bryce Young struggled. He had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, including this red zone interception that we saw. Jair Brown ended up intercepting this one. And this tweet said,
Bryce Young's only option was to throw an interception here. They need to replay this play from the snap. Bryce threw this too late. I'm not gonna lie. The rollout wasn't quick enough. The throw wasn't quick enough because he was open immediately.
Bryce Young's only option was to throw an interception here, and that is exactly what he did. Fellas, I'm going to ask you guys the hard question, the uncomfortable question. Is Bryce Young a franchise quarterback?
No, not yet.
Not yet. I mean, he feels like it this year. He went from being benched last year playing competitive ball, I don't really know what the like. I do remember that. I don't remember I don't really know what the issue is with the Panthers on the offensive side. Like, you got a bunch of young receivers. I don't watch them enough to feel like, their play calling is an issue. Maybe it is, but they're just not one of them teams that's just like, they middle of the pack. So it's like, I don't really know I don't really look out for them that much, Like, it's like the teams who are the worst teams in the league, you can clearly tell their play calling is trash. And then the teams that are the best teams in the league, it's easier to tell. But the ones just like middle of the pack like that, like a Falcons or a Panthers or I'm trying to think. It's kind of tough to tell exactly what the problem is. I don't see it enough.
Let's be real about Bryce Young. This season, we're about 12 weeks in, and he hasn't had back-to-back 200 passing yard games on the season. How can I call you a franchise quarterback if you haven't had back-to-back games with 200 yards? The problem with Bryce Young is too Jekyll and Hyde. I think last week he almost said if he didn't set a Carolina passing record with over.
I was saying we could use an improvement, saying play calling was hard. Are you a Texas fan? You wanted the head coach out there. You also said you wasn't a fan of Randall Cobb, nor Robert Woods, or Kenny Stills, and also praised Will Fuller highly. Interesting. Dang, so our play calling been bad for a minute. Wow.
400 yards. And then this week, after throwing for 446 yards last week, Bryce Young, you throw for 169 yards this week. And then the week before.
I was right about the receiving core, though.
Yards. The problem with Bryce Young is too Jekyll and Hyde. I think last week he almost said if he didn't set a Carolina passing record with over 400 yards. And then this week, after throwing for 446 yards last week, Bryce Young, you throw for 169 yards this week. And then the week before the 440-yard passing game, it's 124 yards. Shady, I can't make sense of it. How do you go from no touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the previous 2 games cumulatively? Then you have 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 400 yards. Then you have 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions tonight, and 140 yards, 160 yards. Like, he's too inconsistent to be a.
Our defense is amazing at this point, but yeah, we still got some work to do. On the Bryce note, I can agree with this, but I'm always a play caller first is the issue, and I'm also not big on quarterbacks under 6 foot or 6 foot and under quarterbacks. But I mean, I don't know. Bryce is not bad, so I mean, Panthers fans, y'all got to let me know in the comment section on this topic. What are y'all thoughts on it? Because I don't think Bryce is a bad quarterback. Are there deficiencies there? Yeah, maybe he can't see over the line. I don't know. I need to look at that more. Does he throw over the middle often? Need to pay attention to that, as well as look at the play calling. They're not a team that play calling has felt like a huge issue with me though this year. I don't feel like the Panthers play calling has been terrible this year. I don't know. Play calling inside the red zone sucks. Yeah, bro, our play calling almost all over the field sucks. It's like some games our play calling is good and some games is not, But red zone for sure. Yeah, bro.
Franchise quarterback has a high ceiling. We've seen that ceiling. The end of last season he cooked, but I'm seeing way too many inconsistencies. 2-5.
Yeah, I hate that you're right, but you are right. I mean, he's not consistent enough to put him on that level of a franchise. A franchise quarterback is a guy that's going to make $200, $300 million. That's what a franchise
So I guess it's safe to say we're in the phase of trying to see, is Bryce Young a franchise quarterback?
is, and I don't think he's that. A franchise guys that can win you games. I can win you at least regular season games. They don't do that. I can count on you. The defense is not doing well. The running game is not doing well. I can count on you. He don't do none of that. So I like him. I just haven't seen enough of him because he had some really, really good games. Then he had some bad, poor games. And to be a franchise quarterback, you got to be consistent. He hasn't been consistent enough for me to say he's a franchise quarterback. And I like the young kid.
Here's the other thing, because I like Bryce. He came on our show previously, is keeping in mind how many quarterbacks is Bryce actually better than? That's the other frustrating thing. I believe winning and losing is a quarterback stat. You step on the field, whichever team has the best quarterback, typically.
And it's interesting. I mean, realistically, if we look at it, Bryce, he's a middle of the pack quarterback in the NFL right now. Like, when we look at the top 15 quarterbacks in the league, top 15 is some good quarterbacks. You look at the top 20, maybe he's in the top 20, but he very, very easily could be outside that top 20. But I do think he might be a middle of the pack quarterback. I don't think he's in that top 15, in my opinion.
Wins the game. I'd probably suggest 80-85% of the time they win the game.
Why you call him 2.5? That was Shady's number.
If y'all are ever betting, Prize Picks, code Speakeasy,
taking Bryce over Kyler, but I think same thing with Kyler. Like, Kyler's more of a middle of the pack quarterback. I don't think he's not top 15. I mean, you can maybe make an argument for him being top 20, but middle of the pack.
Always bet on the team that got the better quarterback. How many teams is Bryce just better than? How many quarterbacks is he? I don't know. He's probably in the bottom 12. If we're just being honest about the situation, he for sure ain't in the top 10. For sure ain't in the top 10. So, like,
bottom
just
12
don't
is fair.
know
I mean,
how many
just
quarterbacks
realistically,
is Bryce actually better than.
I got a great question for y'all, though. Is he better than Justin Fields?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Just making sure.
But the problem is, like,
I wonder what was the point of that
he don't just
question.
crazy clear him. As a passer, he does. But he don't just – as a passer, he does. Here's the thing. Bryce Young has this year.
I just asked a question.
This year, Bryce has a really good defense and a top 10 running back.
Yeah.
If you're a quarterback with a really good defense,
would Kyler be better if he was 6'3"?
running back and a
for sure.
star
Kyler can sling it. I'm not gonna lie.
Is a rookie, a wide receiver.
Kyler, I don't think Kyler is trash. I don't think Kyler's bad. I just don't think Kyler's great. Like, Kyler, he cool. He cool. He not bad. He not great. He good sometimes. But yeah, if he was taller, he'd definitely be better.
Why aren't you more successful? Rico Dowdle's going crazy. This game, y'all had 3 interceptions. Shady knows this. If an offense has 3 interceptions, you should lose.
You should lose.
Like, if an offense has 3 picks, you should.
Browns Steelers playoff game in 2020, I had 120 viewers. Really, I don't remember. I can't remember last time I had 100 live viewers. I'm not gonna lie. At least on this account, I don't remember. It's been a minute. On that one though, blessing.
Lose. The Niners only scored 20 points.
Yeah.
Panthers should win that game.
Yeah.
So for me, like, if you can't win when you have 3 interceptions, when the heck can you win? Now, thankfully, the Buccaneers are struggling. Thankfully, the Saints are atrocious. So you still have a shot at winning that division. But at the end of the day, like, I don't have confidence in Bryce Young yet. And Bryce hasn't done enough, Care Bear, to earn my confidence.
This is my thing. That it's interesting with Bryce. This is year 3, correct?
Yep.
For Bryce Young. Getting benched, having to come back, lighting it up. I think a lot of people expect him to take that next step and be more consistent. We had TJ on the show. TJ talks about how hard he works and how much work he does put in the offseason. The thing is, it's unfortunate that it's inconsistent, right?
I kind of want to put Kyler over Bryce. I might go Kyler, Bryce, T-Law. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't even think T-Law is that bad. It's just, bro, he's yet to have the opportunity to play in a competent offense. I think he has the highest ceiling over both of them. He got a higher ceiling than both of them. But we've yet to see, bro, with a decent head coach or a decent OC, either one. He's yet to have either one. And again, like I've been saying this, all day. A quarterback is going to be limited by the system that he plays in. And if you're not in a good system, you are not going to play good football. It can't happen. You can only outplay the system to an extent, but you can't outplay the system to playoffs. If it's a bad system, you can't drag that system to the playoffs. It's not happening. My big man Paps would always time me out. I'm not even gonna cap. I don't even remember who that is. That's crazy. I feel like I typically remember all the mods. That's crazy. Bro, time flies. That's so wild.
Right now, last week he's NFC Player of the Week. Has 448 yards passing, breaks Carolina's record, and he looks incredible. But to me, guys, can you build your franchise around a player that is this inconsistent?
It's not even you can't. They won't.
So do you think that we're looking at a Bryce Young replacement?
If the Panthers do not make the playoffs this year, Bryce Young's probably gone. Frank Reich is a brilliant offensive mind.
What the heck? Frank Reich, okay. That's a bold claim. Let me see how I feel about this. How long has he been the head coach? He's been a Panthers head coach for. Is he the OC? What the heck? Panthers head coach in 2023. Okay, so what is? Am I tripping? What is he talking about right now?
I heard that.
A brilliant offensive mind. Yeah. I believe Bryce was there. It didn't work out with Frank Reich, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
1-10, I believe the Panthers were. Rome, shout at me if I'm wrong.
Dave Canales
1-10, I believe the Panthers were. Frank Reich gets fired. Now you bring in Dave Canales. Dave Canales was the person that really revitalized Baker Mayfield's career. Like, he was the person that helped Baker Mayfield go from probably going to be out the league in 2 to 3 years or probably going to be a perennial backup to now Baker Mayfield ended up getting a $100 million contract. So, if Canales, who saved Baker Mayfield, can't save you, if Frank Reich, who saved Nick Foles and helped the Eagles win their very first Super Bowl, can't save you, who can save you? How many coaches will get fired before Bryce Young gets benched? In perpetuity, not benched for a moment in time. How many coaches will get fired before Bryce Young gets replaced? You're not firing another coach. I do not believe that Panthers ownership is going to say, well, Frank Reich, Super Bowl winning offensive mind, didn't work. Dave Canales helped turn Baker Mayfield into a $100 million quarterback, didn't work. Oh, it's on the coaches. No, eventually you have to say it's on Bryce.
Can we be honest here, though? Have you guys seen another quarterback, first-round pick, have this disparity in performances on a week-to-week basis?
Trevor Lawrence. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Justin Fields, I think it's a fair amount. Yeah, I think this is normal. This is those bottom. This is the bottom. This is all the quarterbacks outside the top 20. That's what they do. Unfortunately, it's just not. They're not there yet. Whether that be young rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks who are in a second, third year. Still trying to figure it out.
Because this isn't the first, good game he's had. They lost Arizona earlier this year. He put up 328, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Yep. And then he ends up having another good game. I think it was later on against Dallas. He had a great game against the Cowboys. They beat you? They beat us. Yeah. We were bad. That was back in the day. It was before Quinnen. We undefeated with Quinnen.
Focused.
But anyway, he has those good games, and then he'll come out and just stink up the joint. To me, it's confusing because what is it that's actually wrong with Bryce Young? What's holding him back? What's his limitation? Because we can just say consistency, but what on the field is he actually struggling with?
I think it's a couple things. The very first thing is Bryce's physical tools are somewhat limited for an NFL game.
Bro, I'm with that. I think Bryce 5'11", maybe 5'10". I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong right about that. But I just think you're forever. I mean, that's a limitation you cannot get rid of. Unless you watch an insane amount of film or you just got insane chemistry with your receivers. But that's something you're not gonna be able to overcome that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't see them moving on from Bryce. But let me hear him
Right,
out.
he's undersized.
Yeah.
We've heard other undersized.
Bryce smaller than Breeze. Let's see. Did Bryce get measured at the combine? At the combine, he got measured at. He did 5'10". He's 5'10". Dang, I was trying to give bro the benefit of the doubt. For real. I think Drew Brees is 6 foot. I think Drew is 6 foot. Drew Brees 6 foot. Starting NFL quarterback is 5'10". I don't know, man. I don't know. And the thing is, though, again, Bryce is not bad. He's not trash. Not trash. But as a head coach, you're going to have to accept this limitation and figure out a workaround. Like, this makes your job as an OC and a head coach harder. I'm not gonna lie. Make sure. How tall is Russ? Russ probably 5'11". 5'11", maybe 6 foot, 5'11" though. I doubt I can find that combine height. Russell Wilson combine, drafted combine prospect profile, 2012, 5'11". So he an inch taller. But as the OC again, like I said, you're gonna have to. I think that makes your job harder because you got to work around that. You know, like you're gonna have to accept on certain concepts over the middle. He may not see the guy open, or he may not throw that ball as perfectly. So I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Size quarterbacks talk about the fact that they have to move between offensive linemen because you can't just see over them. That's the first thing. We've also had to question Bryce Young's durability because of his size as well. Bryce Young's arm is big, but it's not as though it's that wiry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's athletic, but he's athletic for college. Bryce Young's a very
5'10" and
cerebral
1'8",
player.
so
then if we're also being
college
honest,
5'10"
this is
as
the
well.
first year he's had legitimate help. Adam Thielen was the number one last year because Xavier Legette was not it.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Thielen should not have left, but it looked appealing at the time to go back to Minnesota. But and then they're trying to make do with these young receivers. I'm not even gonna front though. The young receivers aren't playing bad. Legette has not been consistent this year. That's factual. He looked decent last week. I think there's upside there, but I mean, yeah, they're not really getting much production out of young receivers. But I don't think they're using them all to the best either. Though I think they could be doing better, play calling wise, but I don't know what it is.
Chuba Hubbard has been trying to ascend, but remember, they had Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders was a swing and a miss. And then Bryce Young's first year, he's a rookie. So I don't think Bryce Young has ever had, like, really good footing. And in the NFL, unfortunately...
So the NFL game, I streamed Invincible. I watched that on stream. And I think that's what got me banned. No, I think that was a strike. I did Invincible. I did a boxing match, and I think I did an NFL. I think I did Super Bowl. The Super Bowl got me banned. That's what it was. I think it was Super Bowl.
You just have to find a way to succeed regardless of the atmosphere. I get it. Trevor Lawrence walked into a crappy situation with Urban Meyer. We don't care anymore. Kyler Murray, you know what I mean? Like, we don't care anymore. We don't care what situation you go to. Josh Rosen, you got benched after one season. We don't care anymore.
I'll ask you guys a bigger question. Is his success or failure... Does his success or failure change the NFL landscape on smaller quarterbacks, undersized quarterbacks? Because I think after looking at...
No, I think this has been a thing. Undersized quarterbacks being an issue has been a thing. This isn't new, in my opinion.
At the Tua Tagovailoas, after looking at the Bryce Youngs, after looking at the Kyler Murrays and how they've performed, how do we feel about them? I understand Baker's a little bit smaller, but he's still a stockier guy.
Yeah.
Like...
Resident Evil one day.
That's a really good question. I believe the
Baker 5'11"? Really? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but interesting. He's 6 foot and 5'8". Oh, he's 6'1". He's not 5'11". Okay. Nah, okay, I'm about to say.
Undersized quarterback.
Smaller quarterbacks, undersized quarterbacks. Because I think after looking at the Tua Tagovailoas, after looking at the Bryce Youngs, after looking at the Kyler Murrays and how
Tallest quarterback in the NFL, I think Justin Herbert is at 6'6". Josh Allen 6'5". I think Herbert is 6'6".
they've performed, how do we feel about them? I understand Baker's a little bit smaller, but he's still a stockier guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's a really good question. I believe the undersized quarterback will die with Bryce Young and Tua Tagovailoa.
wow.
I think it'll die with Bryce and Tua.
It's not going nowhere, bro. As long as these dudes keep playing good in college, NFL teams gonna keep drafting them. If a team needs a quarterback, some of these organizations are not doing their research. They're not looking at the history of it. They're not understanding that it's harder. These are guys who are rookie head coaches, rookie GMs, rookie OCs. They're not worried about the history on it. They are new to this position. This guy is projected. He's projected to be a first rounder. Okay, we're gonna take a shot at him. So this is gonna keep happening. This is not gonna disappear.
The NFL goes in waves, right? We saw Lamar Jackson, and as a result, we were like, oh, Robert Griffin. Oh, Justin Fields. Oh, quarterbacks that are just fast and can run well. We saw Patrick Mahomes, and so we were like, oh, Jordan Love. Quarterbacks that have really big arms. Oh, Trey Lance. Quarterbacks that can run and have really big arms. I believe that.
IDK that many smaller QBs in college right now. I can't think of much off the top of the head, but they're going to keep coming. I don't see that stopping. I don't see. I mean, last year was any small. It wasn't no small QBs last year. I mean, the year that Bryce came out, it wasn't like it was a bunch of small quarterbacks. Then you're gonna have your one every few years that comes into the league, just like in spurts. Bryce, Tua, Kyler, they all came at different times. So we're gonna see another one pretty soon. It's not gonna be a boatload of them coming at one time, but we're gonna see another one pretty soon, and somebody's gonna draft him in the first round. It's just gonna happen.
Because of how poorly the Bryce Youngs and the Tuas have performed, I do think the undersized quarterback is gonna die with them too. Let's just be honest about it.
Wow. Shady.
And the Dylan Gabriels of the world.
Ooh.
Dylan Gabriel, that's another one. He just got drafted, so it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. We're going to see it at least one every 2 years or so. Ain't Malik Willis like 5'10"? No offense to Malik. No, Malik's 6 foot. He's 6 foot. He might be 6'1", but he's 6 foot though. But we gonna see this keep happening. It's not going nowhere. 6.5. So he about 6'1". So yeah, he's straight.
I don't know about that though, because Kyler Murray, I think he's talented, but what makes him not a good quarterback is I don't think he prepares.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think he puts the work in, because everything is all about talent base. He's running around trying to make plays, extending plays. But
hey, that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. Now I don't know if that's accurate that he don't put the work in. But Drew Brees is 1 in a million. Drew Brees is the guy who makes you believe that these guys can work. But it was Drew Brees' choice to put that work and time in to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. As a coach, you taking a chance. Your odds are much slimmer drafting this guy who is shorter and expecting him to be a Drew Brees. But, if you're willing to gamble on it, then, you take that chance. But I think Drew Brees is the standard, but that's the only quarterback I think in this in the 21st century that's under 6 foot and played at an elite level.
what about plays on time? What about reading coverages? So if he did them things, right? And your team have to say, hey, man, we're going to put in your contract for you to look at the playbook or watch film. You're the quarterback. So I think guys like that could be better. Who else is small in this league?
Tua.
Right? Okay, so Tua. Tua had some good moments, right? I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, but he did have good moments. The right coach, the right players. There was a time like, dang, Tua might be legit. I remember this guy to the left of me used to always praise Tua.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's good moments with him. So I don't know necessarily about the smaller quarterbacks, because if you're a good player, you're going to make plays.
Yeah,
that's going to make plays.
I'll tell you what my problem is, though.
Wait, real quick, before you go.
Yeah.
This is what I will say, though. If you can't move, you will not play quarterback. It was when I was coming in the league, like they had all them type of quarterbacks where they couldn't really move. They just pocket passers. They smart. They're so smart. They're so smart. They're 6'5". They're 6'4". That's over with.
Yeah.
We need guys that can move. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you from and what college. You got to be able to move. And now, even like a guy like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow ain't no Lamar Jackson, but he can move enough.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I think that's the only thing that matters nowadays is I need you to extend plays, right? I need you to throw the ball in different directions. Like when I say that, like, 6'6" DN, I need you to throw the ball around him, side on. I need all that now.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the new thing I think now is like you need guys that can throw the ball in different angles and also be able to scramble and extend plays.
Yeah. I think my concern is hearing a guy like Tua go out and say, like, like sometimes I have trouble seeing over the line.
Yeah, wow.
What?
Yeah, you don't say stuff like that. I mean, like, I think there's a fine line between being real and being whatever that is. I think there's something different. I don't know exactly what that was. But I just don't think that's necessary to say.
That's just a Tua thing, because Tua would be saying a lot. But like having that self awareness. Well, a lack of self-awareness, I guess, to even admit that that's a problem that you have.
That's much self-deprecation.
That to me is a crazy thing moving forward. That I think, there's a reason why the prototypical guy is 6'3" to 6'5".
Let me ask you. Tell me one thing you are great at. What are you great at?
Being a great son to my loving mother.
You talking on TV?
Yeah.
What you meant on TV?
I'm saying in general, but that's cool.
just in general. I'm hilarious.
I'll take that part. The mom thing. You've been doing that since you've been a kid.
Yeah.
So, for example, I never was a big running back, but I've always been smaller. Right? I've always. So you adjust. So now, like even in football, basketball, boxing, you are who you are. Right? I think players, obviously, you get stronger, you get faster, you get better, but you are who you are. So I've always been smaller. Allen Iverson, he's always been small. Like you know how to adjust.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when I hear him, I'm like, Tua, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You've always been
There's
that way.
no excuse for that.
To me, and I don't want to make this a Tua conversation, but guys like him let me know that everybody that's in the pros are not competitors. I don't think he competes. Competitors ain't talking like that. Yeah, sometimes guys can't see over the line, man. That's why I threw them picks.
That's partially true, and I'm not going to combat it because I don't have a rebuttal for it. But that does look like you're not very competitive, saying things like that. But on the note overall of the smaller quarterbacks, and is Bryce Young a franchise QB? I think Bryce potentially can be a franchise QB. I think Bryce carries himself in the manner that he wants to be better. He wants to get better. I'd have to watch film to see what's really going on with this offense. I'm not going to put too much on him. That pick in the end zone, that was on him. I mean, we can say the play calling, blah blah blah, but I think if he would have rolled out quick enough and got around quick enough, he would have been able to make that throw. You know what your read is, so you need to get out there quick and get your head flipping around quick. You know you only have one receiver rolling out, so I mean, but anyways though, as far as when it comes to being a franchise quarterback, that comes down to applying yourself. Everything else could be right. But it definitely comes down to applying self. That's an individual thing, you know. They're not gonna make you the franchise QB. Well, I mean, they can, but if you don't play up to it, then you know. But we're gonna move on from this segment. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed.